Hidden.
I'm pinching.
Good job.
Oh,
Yeah.
never mind, they're dead.
That was gorgeous. So a question I'm asked frequently is, Cammy, what's your favorite gun in Destiny 2? Quite simply, the answer is the Home for the Lost. So much so that I decided to do an entire video breakdown on why it's my favorite gun in all of Destiny 2. For starters, the Home for the Lost falls into the 110 RPM category, meaning it hits 71 to the head and 48 to the body. What this amounts to is 3 taps to the head, and potentially 2 to the head, 1 to the body if they're 3 resilience or lower. However, if they are 4 resilience, it's going to take 3 headshots. Yes, hand cannons do 3 tap, unlike the Dire Promise, which is shown on screen right now, shooting a 10 resilience Guardian for 2 head, 2 body. The difference between the 2 archetypes is very noticeable when you pull an aggressive sniper rifle. Shoot him in the body, clean up with the Dire Promise. Oh wait, it can't do that. So switch to the Home for the Lost, pull up the snipe again, hit him in the body, swap to the hand cannon, hit him in the body again, and it's a kill on a 10 resilience Guardian. Oh, that's right, I may have glossed over the marquee perk of the Home for the Lost, Quickdraw. This hand cannon has Quickdraw. On the first, second, or even third glance, you may not notice that the Home for the Lost gives you an advantage when swapping from your energy weapon to your kinetic. Compared to the Dire Promise, the Home for the Lost pulls out about 0.05 seconds faster, or 1/20th of a second. That may not sound like a lot, especially when considering console frame rate and the tick rate of the game, but if you're guaranteed first shot, not only are you flinching your opponent, but the time to kill of the Home for the Lost is also faster than the Dire Promise, so your margin of error is going to be lower. But wait, hold up in the comment section. I understand that sprint ADS canceling is a thing, and I compared that too. To the untrained eye, you can't tell which sprint ADS cancel is the fastest, but whenever you break it down really slowly, you can see that the Home for the Lost has maybe a very small advantage, but I almost account that to human error. So let's just say for argument's sake that they are the exact same. But really, the important point to gather from this is that if you sprint ADS cancel, which you will be doing the majority of the time, then Quickdraw doesn't matter. But when mentioning aiming down sights, the Home for the Lost does what no other 110 RPM hand cannon can do, which is ADS very quickly. While a couple milliseconds advantage on handling and ADS speed may not seem that important, to an advanced player it is game changing. Take this scenario for instance. Whenever I'm playing a very difficult competitive match, I want to be in cover at all times, but sometimes you need to peek out of cover. So what you can do is when running towards cover, you can pop 180, which means you turn around to see behind you, while sliding, put a shot in, then face back to the original direction to finish the slide and start your sprint to cover. If you pay special attention to the Home for the Lost clip, you can see that I over-aim my target, but because of its very fast handling, I'm able to aim down sights, reacquire my target, shoot, and make it back to my original direction to finish the sprint. To put it in English, if I'm aiming bad, because of the fast handling, I'm still able to find my target before I lose out on a potentially fast TTK. This isn't the whole story on the Home for the Lost though. There's a couple cool things that you can still do with it. Namely, you would sprint ADS cancel majority of the time if you're on the ground, but what if you're in the air? Now while these aren't synced up perfectly, you can tell that the Home for the Lost shoots before it is even visually shown, which is really terrifying considering the changes that are coming to September. So rather than show you some meaningless numbers on screen in terms of like range, stability, handling, whatever, I'm going to show you where the numbers actually make a difference in game. The best in class legendary for range is the Cremil's Dagger. That 3 taps at 33 meters. Home for the Lost, 32. Dire Promise will 4 tap at 33. Home for the Lost will 4-tap at 40 meters. But then you compare the 3-tap, 4-tap, and 5-tap of a Home for the Lost and Dire Promise, and you see that when a Dire Promise is out of optimal range, the Home for the Lost still beats it in TTK. And if you can beat it in TTK while firing one less shot, that means whenever you peek shot out of cover, that is one less time you have to expose yourself, one less potential time that the entire enemy team can shoot at you.
Ching. Good job. Yeah. Never mind, they're dead.
That was gorgeous. Long story short, 110 RPM hand cannons have their fair share of pros and cons. Pros being TTK and range, cons being handling and reload. Well, Home for the Lost takes away one of the giant cons, which is handling. So when deciding between a Home for the Lost and maybe a more popular Dire Promise, you gotta ask yourself, am I hitting the majority of my shots? And are the majority of those shots headshots? If so, pick yourself up a Criminal's Dagger, pick yourself up a Home for the Lost. Wait, I know you're in the comment section typing up, but Dire Promise only requires 50% headshots, so that's a reason to use it. And yes, you're absolutely right, but remember it takes 4 shots, and Home for the Lost takes 3. So if you notice your second shot with Home for the Lost is a body shot, you have enough time to get the hell out of there before the Dire Promise user can even finish their kill. And for that example clip, I purposely put myself a little bit more exposed than I would be in, let's just say, a competitive match. In a competitive match, I am much tighter towards cover. Well, that pretty much covers my review on the Home for the Lost. So if you're wondering where to obtain this weapon, you get it at the gunsmith. I'll go ahead and close out this video by answering the question, why is Home for the Lost your favorite hand cannon, or favorite gun in Destiny 2? And that is, when in a gunfight, doesn't matter if it's a 1v1, 1v2, 1v3, whatever, if I'm winning it, it is because not only am I hitting precision shots, but I am also reacting faster. And it's a nice wake-up call to know that if I'm losing, it is because I'm not shooting faster, and I'm not shooting more accurately. A terrifying thought is that the Home for the Lost isn't even the most skill-intensive hand cannon when you compare it to something like a 180 RPM hand cannon, which has significantly better in-air accuracy and a faster time to kill, but it takes 4 shots. So that means instead of hitting 3 accurately, you gotta hit 4 accurately in the face. But even though they're more skill intensive, they're not as practical in the competitive environment because as soon as you put a single headshot in, somebody usually runs away, and I'd rather do 71 damage to the face than 50. So if you think you're the most skilled primary user in all of Destiny, go ahead and throw on a Cold Heart, throw on a 180 RPM hand cannon, and even though you're hitting all your shots, your TTK is significantly faster, you'll notice the drawbacks of those weapons. Cold Heart being that you have to maintain a sightline on your target at all times, which a hand cannon user will never give you the luxury of doing, and with a 180 RPM hand cannon, you have less range than a 110, a 140, or a 150 hand cannon, so you have to be closer to them to actually fulfill the kill, to get the 4-tap. And at those ranges, what you're going to run into is an Antiope, which ends up having an even faster time to kill than the 180 RPM. And within the confined ranges, the Antiope still has adequate in-air accuracy, which will amount to a pretty similar time to kill in the air even if you're hitting all your shots. So once you run the numbers, once you do the math, you'll see that Home for the Lost gives you some very flexible options when it comes to selecting a primary. And that, my friends, is the reason that this is my favorite gun and that it will never leave my inventory. Thanks for watching the video. Comment down below if you enjoyed it. If you dislike it, let me know in the comment section, and I will see you in the next one. And if you thought my pullout game was good with Home for the Lost, wait, just follow my Twitter. I make even worse jokes on there.